both a panic and anxiety disorder. Now, I
was just telling a friend yesterday on the phone that it's time for me to start talking about this. The reason why is because I now have a client who deals with it. The friend I was talking to has just recently started dealing with it, although this friend and I have been friends for 20 years, and she watched me deal with it without understanding what I was dealing with back in the day. Back in the day, no one talked about having panic attacks, but yet I had them all the time. Why? I've never found out. I've never done therapy. I've never done medication. I have lived with my panic attacks my entire life. They have gotten better. I can bring myself out of them quickly these days, but I'm self-educated on this. But now, like I was telling my friend, it's so beautiful. TikTok is such a beautiful thing because now people are sharing their stories, and it makes me feel so much better than I thought back in the day that I was the only person that had panic attacks. I really thought something was wrong with me, but I didn't have insurance. I didn't have the resources to figure out what was wrong with me, and I had no stories to even compare myself to, and nobody around me knew what was going on. And so I was just, I remember one time I was at a concert and had a panic attack, got kicked out, and years later I was teaching a teacher training program, and one of the girls that signed up for my yoga teacher training program said she was working at that concert venue that night and saw me being kicked out of the show and thought I was on drugs. And I was not on drugs. I literally had a panic attack. Why do I have panic attacks? Many reasons. A lot of the reasons is because I get too excited. I got so excited it was a Michael Franti concert, and I was so excited about Michael Franti coming out, and then the crowd rushed in, and then I just went in full panic mode and ended on the ground, and it was awful. I have not had one that bad since then, and that was 13, 14 years ago, but you never forget those moments. Panic attacks are the freaking worst. These days I have them mainly when I get too excited in exercise, when I'm teaching cycle flow, and I get excited about the music, or I'm talking and I'm riding at my highest maximum capacity. I'll have a panic attack on the bike and have to run out of the studio and get back on the bike. And I even have video of that. I've planned to show it one day, because I want to talk about this, because I felt so alone during my panic attacks, and I still feel alone during my panic attacks. But because everyone, like Matt Rife, is sharing his story, oh my goodness, thank you. Because when you don't feel so alone, your panic doesn't feel as bad. Should I be medicated? Should I have therapy? I have no clue, but that's just not the options for me. My option is movement. And I don't know if I believe in medication, but I consider it on a daily basis, but I just don't know. I will tell you one more story. My second hip replacement, I came out of that and I had a full-blown panic attack in the hospital bed. And my nurse at the time, she basically begged me to let her put me on medication. She said, "You have panic disorder." That was the first time anybody had told me what I had. And she said, "You have panic disorder. You need to be medicated." And I said no. And that was 3 or 4 years ago. Every once in a while I think about it, but I've lived with it for so long that, I'm playing with it in my mind. I think panic lives in the brain. I really believe that. And there is some sort of PTSD, and any type of signals, like exercise-induced, like I said, signals the brain like, oh my God, there may be trouble, so let's go in panic mode, I guess. And I'm trying to rewire my brain through movement and self-talk and tell myself I'm okay. And I hope my story just helps somebody out there.